I, Jomo Kenyatta, being chosen and admitted to the cabinet in Kenya.
We are talking about 6.7 million acres of land.
The extreme lengths to which some of the world's wealthiest and most powerful people go to avoid taxes, scrutiny, and accountability.
The Kenyatta family controls more than 500,000 acres of prime land in Kenya, wealth surpassing entire global cities. Behind political power and sprawling business empires lies a secretive dynasty that shapes the nation's destiny with unmatched influence. This is the untold story of Kenya's most powerful family, origins of the Kenyatta family, and Jomo Kenyatta's rise. The Kenyatta family originated from the Kikuyu community, Kenya's largest ethnic group. Jomo Kenyatta, born in the late 19th century, emerged as a pivotal nationalist leader, opposing colonial rule. He steered Kenya toward independence through diplomacy, education, and activism, gaining respect internationally. His leadership during the Mau Mau uprising era elevated his stature as the face of freedom. From a modest background, Jomo transitioned into a symbol of unity and resistance, eventually becoming Kenya's first prime minister. His ability to bridge ethnic divides and negotiate with British colonial authorities laid the foundation for his political dynasty. The family's ascent intertwined with Kenya's struggle, making their legacy inseparable from the country's birth and early identity formation. Kenya's independence and promise of land redistribution. Upon gaining independence in 1963, Kenya faced the critical issue of land ownership, a legacy of British colonial expropriation. The new government pledged to return land to displaced indigenous communities, especially the Kikuyu, who had suffered the most. This promise was central to national reconciliation and political stability. However, land redistribution became complicated by the political elite's involvement. While the government's rhetoric emphasized equitable settlement, in practice, priority often went to party loyalists and influential figures. The land question remained a delicate and contentious subject, as land was synonymous with wealth, identity, and power. This period marked the beginning of a complex interplay between political authority and land control, shaping Kenya's socio-economic landscape for decades. The million-acre settlement scheme and land acquisitions. The million-acre settlement scheme was launched as a major land redistribution effort to allocate about 1 million acres to Africans. Officially, it aimed to empower small-scale farmers by providing agricultural land. However, the initiative became a vehicle for political favoritism and patronage. Those closely linked to the ruling elite accessed vast plots, sidelining ordinary citizens. The Kenyatta family capitalized on this scheme, acquiring sizable tracts under the guise of national development. The process involved government support, relaxed purchase conditions, and informal arrangements. This accumulation of land by politically connected actors consolidated their hold on Kenya's agricultural wealth. What was intended as social justice transformed into a mechanism concentrating land ownership within a powerful minority, exacerbating inequality. How the Kenyatta family amassed enormous wealth and land. The Kenyatta family's wealth expanded beyond land through strategic investments and political influence. Land acquisitions provided a solid economic base, but diversification accelerated their dominance. They engaged in lucrative sectors such as agriculture, banking, tourism, and real estate development. Political connections granted access to government contracts and privileged business opportunities. The family's holdings include vast farms, premium urban real estate, and stakes in key financial institutions. Their influence allowed them to navigate regulatory environments favorably and fend off rivals. This accumulation was not merely economic, but synergized with political power, reinforcing their position at the apex of Kenya's elite. The family's vast wealth remains largely opaque, shielded by complex corporate structures. Formation and influence of the Kikuyu political elite. The Kiambu Mafia refers to a powerful network of Kikuyu politicians and business people primarily based in Kiambu County, home to the Kenyatta family. This elite group wielded significant influence over political decisions and economic distribution in post-independence Kenya. Their control extended into key sectors, including agriculture, banking, and state enterprises. Often operating behind the scenes, they exercised patronage by rewarding allies and controlling local political machinery. This concentration of power helped maintain Kikuyu dominance in Kenya's political landscape, influencing national agendas and policies. The group's influence diminished opportunities for rival ethnic groups, contributing to ethnic tensions. Their legacy persists in Kenya's political culture, illustrating the intertwining of ethnicity and economic control. Business ventures. The Kenyatta family expanded their economic footprint through diversified business ventures. Agriculture formed the backbone, with extensive farms producing coffee, tea, and dairy products, including Brookside Dairy, which became a regional powerhouse. Banking investments solidified their financial strength, enabling control over credit and capital flows critical to economic development. Real estate acquisitions provided steady wealth through commercial and residential properties. The family also moved into the media sector, owning outlets that shape public discourse and influence political narratives. This media presence reinforces their socio-political leverage. Collectively, these ventures create an integrated empire that blends agriculture, finance, and information, sustaining the family's dominance in Kenya's economy and politics. Political patronage, corruption allegations, and suppression of opposition. The Kenyatta family's rise was marked by a system of political patronage that reinforced their power through loyalty networks. Resources and government favors flowed primarily to allies, ensuring support within key ethnic and economic groups. This environment bred widespread corruption allegations, as contracts and land deals often bypassed transparent procedures. Opponents, whether political rivals or dissenting voices, faced intimidation, legal challenges, and sometimes outright suppression. This approach maintained the family's dominance, but eroded democratic institutions and fueled ethnic polarization. Control over security forces and the judiciary often tilted the balance in favor of the ruling elite, limiting political pluralism. Jomo Kenyatta's legacy and role in building a political dynasty. Jomo Kenyatta's leadership transformed him into the founding father of independent Kenya, but his impact extended beyond politics to the creation of a lasting dynastic power base. He adeptly consolidated authority by centralizing political structures and rewarding loyalists within the Kikuyu community, particularly his relatives. Kenyatta's ability to negotiate with colonial powers earned him respect, which he leveraged to institutionalize his family's influence in governance and economic sectors. Establishing a strong patronage network, he laid the groundwork for his descendants to inherit both political capital and vast wealth. The Moi era. During President Daniel Arap Moi's rule, the Kenyatta family's interests remained protected through a strategic alliance, even with changes in power. Moi's government maintained the status quo by preserving the Kenyatta's economic holdings and political influence. The regime granted immunity from prosecution for family members and reinforced their control over key sectors. Political concessions secured the family's loyalty and a degree of stability within the ruling elite. Moi's patronage networks intersected with the Kenyatta dynasty, blending their interests. This period saw a careful balancing act where the family's fortunes expanded quietly, avoiding overt confrontation while consolidating behind-the-scenes power, laying a foundation for their continued dominance in the multi-party era that followed. Uhuru Kenyatta's political career and presidency. Uhuru Kenyatta's rise to Kenya's presidency symbolized the political dynasty's renewed prominence in the 21st century. Building on the family's legacy, his career included service as Deputy Prime Minister and Finance Minister, roles that deepened his governance experience. His presidential campaigns benefited greatly from the vast networks and resources amassed by his family, enabling a powerful political machine. His tenure emphasized infrastructure development, economic growth, and regional diplomacy, but was also marked by controversies, including allegations of electoral manipulations and corruption. The Kenyatta family's offshore wealth and secretive holdings. Beyond visible assets in Kenya, the Kenyatta family holds considerable offshore wealth shielded through complex corporate structures and tax havens. These secretive holdings include real estate, investments, and financial accounts registered in discrete jurisdictions. Such arrangements help to protect assets from scrutiny, reduce tax liabilities, and ease international business transactions. The opacity of these structures complicates efforts to fully assess the family's true economic power and raises questions about the transparency of wealth accumulation. Access to offshore resources offers strategic flexibility and sustains the family's influence transnationally. allowing them to operate beyond Kenya's regulatory reach and maintain a significant edge over domestic competitors. Contemporary influence. In today's Kenya, the Kenyatta family remains a central force in shaping both the economy and political landscape. Their vast economic empire spans agriculture, finance, real estate, and media, providing substantial leverage over market dynamics. Politically, they act as kingmakers by endorsing candidates, influencing party structures, and mobilizing voter bases, particularly within the Kikuyu community. Their ability to forge alliances across ethnic lines and business interests facilitates control over parliamentary and executive institutions. This combination of wealth and political clout enables them to drive policy decisions and national discourse. The family's enduring presence illustrates how economic dominance intertwines with political strategy, ensuring their continued relevance and authority in Kenya's future trajectory. The Kenyatta family's legacy is woven into the nation's fabric, controlling much more than just land and business. As the family's influence endures, the true extent of their reach and its impact on Kenya's future continues to unfold. Thanks for watching.